Team, welcome back. Episode 5 of Due North. And I'm here with the best mechanic in the world. We're having a look at Kofifernweh to see what needs tightening up, what needs doing. The first thing we're going to do is service it, and then there's been an issue. There's been a bit of an issue with something cutting out. And I can't figure it out. I'm thinking it's something to do with pressures, with the fuel, because it's only really happened recently, and that's the only thing that's been tampered with recently is a fuel filter. But the best mechanic in the world, he's got other ideas. And I'll be honest, I'm going to go with them. But what do you think the problem is?
Maybe adaptions, idle control adaptions.
Idle control adaptions, says Pete.
But we'll find out.
But we'll find out. Right. Welcome back, team. Where are we at now then?
So we are doing adaptions. So it's come up with a fuel pump issue.
Yeah.
Which is internal with the fuel pump. So it's not a sense that we can change it externally. So it needs a new pump really, but we're going to try and do some adaptions to see if we can bring it back slightly. Sometimes it can.
So we're going to change the status quo, we're going to change it to make it what we want it, what it should be, to see if that has any effect on the fuel flow.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say we.
Yeah,
You. So this fuel issue is something I've noticed since changing the fuel filter, where I'll be driving along at a decent amount of revs, and then I'll stop, like I'll pull up off a motorway or I'll pull up at a junction, and the engine will cut out. It's not every time, but it's more than I want it to be, obviously. So that's the issue we're addressing here. So that's why I've got it plugged in with the OBD machine, and we're resetting everything and making everything, sort of setting everything back to zero to see if it makes a difference and see if it changes that problem. So what have we done?
So we've done a service.
Yep.
All filter change on the engine.
Yep.
A bit of data looking at. So you're going to run it now, give it a go.
Yep.
And any more issues, we're going to try a fuel pressure regulator.
Right.
Hopefully that will cure it if you have another issue. If not, we're going to change some software.
Right.
To make it go a little bit better.
Nice one.
Quite as I
I'm going to be back at the garage later in the week. At the moment I'm round at B&Q because I snapped this hook which holds my toilet in place. At the moment I'm using door stoppers, but I'll see what else I need and get my B&Q hardware store mission done, and I'm going to go and do a whole load of work on the van. Maybe you want to see where I actually am though. I'm back on the south coast, I'm on the Isle of Purbeck, and this is where I am. I'm in Dorset. I'm in the Isle of Purbeck in Swanage, and now it's time to get started on van stuff. One of the first things I'm going to do is install another battery. I've currently got 200 amp hours of lithium batteries, and I've got another 100 to make it 300 amp hours, which will help me out in the winter. So I'm going to get the van repositioned, get everything out the back, and figure out where I've got space for the other 50% of battery that I've just bought for £430. Let's do that. All of that needs to come out because this is the battery. It weighs about 27 kilos, 100 amp hours of lithium phosphate, I think, lithium iron phosphate, something like that. But everything needs to come out the back of the van because that needs to go in somewhere. That's where the batteries are. On the wall there's the inverter. Batteries down on the floor, screwed into the floor. So I'm going to have to put the other one in this gap. That's the only place it's going to fit. And find a way to secure that to the floor as well. And wire it. Which is is it series or parallel? I can't remember. I know what I'm doing anyway. There it is in position. Everything's going to be there. These are the extra cables. So now I need to connect this black terminal, the negative, to here, and then extend the red to there to make them run as 3 batteries in parallel, which is easy. I just need a spanner. There it is, 300 amp hours of lithium batteries done. Well, at the moment what's happening is I'm trying to figure out, after having everything in the van for the past 6 months at least, I now need to work out what I actually need in the van for the next either 3 or 9 months, depending on what actually happens in the Schengen and the Brexit situation. So loads of stuff is coming out. In fact, everything is coming out, and I'm reviewing every single item because space and weight is at a premium. And so what I've got here is all the tools and cooking stuff, and the gas is over on this side. And then this side is going to be for the fun stuff. So the skis are there, the laundry stuff is there, the camping stuff is there. This is hard work. It's like a big puzzle. And we're back at the van on the driveway. It's tomorrow, by the way. So today's job, amongst other jobs, is to install this. This is the Renogy DC to DC battery charger at 60 amps. What I've got at the moment is a split charger, which is basically a switch that looks at the voltage on the van battery and the voltage on the house battery, and the switch decides whether to charge the house battery or not. What this thing does, I have no idea, but it does it far more efficiently. It doesn't just go yes, no. There's a whole load of stuff going on in here. And it charges it far more efficiently as well, so it's better for lithium batteries. So now I've got to figure out where this is going to go, and then I need to run 5 cables, 2 from the van to battery to that, 2 from that to the house batteries, and then an ignition on-off cable as well, which is going to be fun. I'm going to take you in the van. I'm going to take you on a much smaller camera so you can actually see what's going on. Right, here we go. All my space is kind of occupied, so there isn't anywhere obvious for this to go, but we already know that living in a van is a big puzzle. What are my options? How thick is this ply? I can't remember. I think it's... I don't know if it's thick enough. It's not thick enough. What other options have I got? What's this? That's not really ideal. It's going to have to go in here somewhere. This is a lot thicker, this one. Yeah, that's way thicker. That's about 3 mil. That looks about 8 mil. So maybe it goes here. I don't want it to fall off with any vibrations, and as you can imagine, the van vibrates a lot when it's moving, which is part of the reason why I'm going to go over everything in here and tighten up all the screws. Right, where is this going to go? I reckon okay, if I get the inverter shifted up and I put the DC to DC charger underneath, I think there's space. I think that's what's going to happen. This is such an awkward space to be in because this is the frame for the boxes. This is a cleaning cupboard which is under the mattress, so you pick up the mattress to get into that box, so it's bolted to the bottom of the bed, which means I've got literally the width of me, but on the floor is batteries, so I can't quite get to anything. Everything about being in a van is hard work, but it's also good fun. Right, there it is in place. It's a little bit wonky, but it's going to work fine. Now I need to run cables through here all the way to the front, and then cables from here to the batteries, and an ignition cable into there. And this very tight space makes it very, very difficult to do anything. Right, so what we've got here is there's the split charge switch, the relay, which runs from here with a fuse, which is here. This is my battery monitor. So I need to get rid of this so I can take the fused bit, join that together. Yes. So I can use the fuse that's already there, use the wire that's already there. If I take that out and splice these wires together, then we're good. And while I'm doing this, just an FYI, this is not an instructional video, not by any means. This is just me getting it done. Some sort of one way or another situation. Looks like it's the other. There we go. So I've just run the ignition wire. I'm hoping I'll be able to find it, because there it is. So this wire goes all the way to the ignition, and this is what turns this machine on. So I just need to strip a bit. I can plug it in. All of that is now on hold because I had a call saying get down the garage, the dyno's available. So here I am. So the van is somehow going to manoeuvre itself all the way into there, into the corner where there's a dyno. And it's the only dyno that good in the south of England, and the engine's going to get remapped. So we're going to look at, I think, at going up to 190 brake horsepower or thereabouts, which should be really good for my power, but really good with the number of miles I'm doing for the economy. Right? Pete loves being on video, don't you? Yeah, you put me right on edge. So there's something special about this dyno.
Yeah.
And the south coast. What was the specialty?
So this is the only four-wheel drive dyno in the south coast.
The only four-wheel drive dyno in the south coast.
Yeah.
Perfect for my two-wheel drive van then.
Yeah. Yeah, you really got that. Yeah.
So what are we looking at actually doing, achieving?
So we're going to increase the torque and the power.
The torque and as in the horsepower.
Yeah,
and
horsepower
the torque.
performance.
Right. Yeah.
So which will relay to you in fuel economy.
Right. Okay.
So you won't have to drive it as hard.
So what sort of an increase are we looking at?
So it's normally around 20%.
Right.
I haven't got the figures in front of me. But
It's about 20. I think it was 20 to 30 from memory. Pushing from what, 110, 120 up to 190, but in real terms it's going to be about a 20 to 30% increase in efficiency, economy-wise.
Yes.
So if do we get the option of more torque or more power, or does it just
so
do what
there
it
is
does?
variance. We can do a custom and all that, but I think with this we're just going to go with generic economy map.
Right. Okay.
But more for economy because of course
So we want
and stuff.
for that we want the torque really
More than the power,
than the power.
Yeah.
Say we.
Well, you, yeah.
Me. Right. So how are you going to get the van in?
We are just
You're just figuring that out.
set up, ready to go.
Getting the puzzle ready. I like it. You like that?
Yeah.
Definitely not over 3 metres.
No, 2.8. Clear here. And now that's done, we're going back up in the air again because it's time to get the diesel heater in. So what we've got to do, Pete's going to do something, he's going to drop the tank and we're going to tap the tank.
Yeah, tap the tank.
This is that we thing again, it's Pete. So the tank's got to come down.
Yeah. You've got to tap in for the diesel heater feed and then run the fuel lines to where you want the diesel heater.
Right, okay.
So you've got to find out where you want
So
it
we've got to
first.
figure out where the diesel heater's going. I think I know where it's going. But then we've got to cut the holes in the bottom of the van for that. So there is the tank. It's 75 litres, it's about half full, so it should weigh, including the weight of the tank, probably 35 to 40 kilos.
We're hoping.
With 30-ish litres of fuel and whatever it weighs itself.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what's happening now.
They're always awkward. Tanks are always awkward to get out.
Right, yesterday, with all that stuff going on, we all got a bit involved and then the battery started dying and then my microphone died. So now I'm picking up with the fuel tank having been dropped, the T put into it, so there's now a fuel source running to the diesel heater, and the diesel heater is kind of located temporarily. It needs to be connected up properly. Heater is in, but it's not working properly, so I've actually ordered another one because tomorrow I need to leave, and that means tomorrow everything's got to be finished. So I promised you a bit of a van tour as well, show you around the van. It's an absolute mess because I'm in the middle of sorting everything out and deciding where everything is going to be going and what I'm actually going to take. So let's have a quick look around. Excuse the mess. So you're currently on the bed. It's a double bed, full size, and it extends all the way to the left of the van. On the right is storage. So all of these shelves behind here, clothing and organised clothing. So these are boxes of clothing and these are bags of clothing. So everything's nice and organised and I know where everything is so I can get to it nice and easy. And there's various other things dotted about, lighting, speakers, music. And then there's a massive skylight. At the minute, all the stuff from other places is stored up here while I figure everything out. But there's a massive skylight up there. And gives me a great view out through the roof, straight above the bed, and it sort of opens up that space as well. So, looking the other way down the van, just here, above the kitchen and above the sink is the coffee cupboard. Coffee, tea, and various things to do with that are in there, so it's nice and easy to get to. And then right underneath it is the sink, which is nice and big and deep, so it means that nothing's going to move about if I put it in there when I'm driving, and I've got enough space to wash up and stuff like that, and to wash myself, without having like a shallow sink like you'd get in a caravan or something like that. So that is the kitchen area. The water is pumped from a 12-volt water pump, and the tanks live underneath it, so they're inside the van, so they don't freeze over. If they were underslung, they might freeze over in the places I'm going. On this side, we've got a cupboard here, which is kitchen stuff on the top half, and then camera stuff in the bottom half. So all my chargers, loose cables, bags of bits and pieces are there, but then there's also bags of bits and pieces up here, which then extends on to toiletries, and then like officey stuff, books, documents, it's all up here. And then in this furthest one, that above the cab is for a speaker, all my shopping bags and things like that. There are some more books up there, and my things I need to get to quickly. So my GoPro lives up there, my Osmo camera lives up there. Those sorts of things that I need to get to quickly will live up there. And you'll notice throughout the van as well, when you watch this closely and when you watch other episodes, there are various other places to store things, like hanging all over the place. So there's a head torch, and there's my BlackRapid straps up here. But then if I show you that from the other side, there we go. There's my jet oil, which is my kettle, and then a water bottle. There's some storage here, there's some charging options under there, and this is all lit as well. So there's a light there, touch on, touch off, and some nice fairy lights and this rope light. This massive window has a thermal blind on it, so it's a blackout and thermal blind, so it keeps it protected. And the small window on the little door is exactly the same. And then there's some more hanging space. So it's all over the place. Every bit of space in here is valuable. There's a platypod with a gooseneck, so I can attach a camera and film inside here if I need to. But then there's the same in the front above the passenger seat, so that's where a lot of footage will come from of the driving sort of stuff. A GoPro or an Insta360 will mount on there. And then the seat in the front swivels. There's loads of storage on the back of it, molly pouches and things like that. And then the seat itself spins around, so it comes back into the cabin, so it opens up the space. And then underneath it I've got 4 tripods, so there's tripod storage right under there. And then in the front, it's all just within reach sort of things. I mean, you've seen that on other episodes, and you'll see more of that throughout, but that's the front, and that's how it comes through to the back. It's separated by this, which is a thermal curtain. There's more storage here, so I can hang jackets. This is a thermal blackout curtain, which goes all the way across to there, and the cooker lives down there behind the seat. So that, it's a mess. It's a horrible, horrible mess. But that is the inside of Kofifernweh. And that brings this episode to a close as well. I'm more or less ready. As you can see, I'm sorting things out and everything's all over the place, but that's good. That means I'm in the bit where I'm putting it all back and deciding what's staying and what's going. This episode is done. That was Tighten Up Week. That was a bit out of order, or a bit out of place rather, but everything is done that needs to be done. I'm ready to hit the road and get over to France, into Belgium, Holland, Germany, Denmark, catch a ferry over to the Faroe Islands, and that's where we'll pick up next week. Remember guys, once in a lifetime, as often as you can.